Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to be walking through Bomb CRM, showcasing each and every app that's included in the system, and also talking about how these apps are used and how they're related to one another, and also all of the features that you can expect in this system. So, to start off, this is the activity page. We have our built-in tiles here ready for you with some helpful links to support a ticket. Also, you can visit the knowledge base. If you like different integrations, you can purchase one by clicking this link here. You'll also have a link to a web form that'll create an opportunity for you. So opportunities in BOM are seller leads. Keep in mind, this activity page is completely customizable, so you can choose to create any types of tiles and reports that you would like. So let's start off with the team members app. So in the team members app, this is where you will have all of your employees or members that are either working in Podio or also outside of Podio. So you do not need to invite members into your system in order to track their progress here. We have acquisitions, so each member has a role. If I click into a member here, this is just some dummy data, but each member has a name, a phone number, an email, a status, and a department. So a qualifier would be a cold caller or anybody that is, let's say, bringing in leads into the system. There would be qualifiers. They're qualifying the leads and bringing it into the system. Acquisitions is the actual person working on the lead, doing the contracts, all that stuff. Disposition is on the transaction side, assignment contracts, and then appointment specialist is obviously the person that would be going on to the appointment to be checking on the appraisals or just anything that involves scheduling appointments. That would be the person who actually goes on the appointments. You notice that when I click into this app, you have specific KPIs per team member. So if this is a qualifier, a cold caller, you would be able to see how many leads they brought in, whether they're cold calling leads like or SMS leads, whether you're doing voice marketing or text marketing. You'll see that here. And then also out of those leads, which offers were sent, which ones were signed, and which ones are closed. Now, each agent, each member here has their own specific leads. There's also a last lead date here because the system has a built-in round robin feature that'll automatically assign leads to the upcoming acquisition person that hasn't received a lead yet. So moving on from the team members app, we have the contacts app. Now here is where you keep all of your company's contacts, such as cash buyers, title agents, joint venture partners, and so on. You can see we have some test data in here, some cash buyers. If I click into a cash buyer, you can see we have the type set as cash buyer. It's active. And we have actions here, which we can delete the actual buyer or we can add to an email list. So by selecting this button, you will add this lead or this contact actually to the email list view. So what this view is, it will be used by your email templates app so that you can you can send mass emails to everyone that is on this list. So you can make use of that. And I'll go over that later. So you can do that. Specific to cash buyers, we have preferred zip codes, but you can update this to preferred cities or states or whatever you'd like. And this is used in your inventory app, which I'll go over later on in the video. But the system will automatically search your cash buyers and check whatever they're interested in, if it's a zip code or city. And then whenever you get a property under contract, that property is then in your inventory so that the system will go in, check any buyers that are potentially interested in it based on their preferred zone, and then automatically link that buyer to that inventory item so you know that, okay, here are my target buyers, and then you can then market to them in the inventory app, which I'll go over. Below that is just general contact information, company name, in case if it's a title agent, And you have all of your contacts in here. I understand some companies may want to differentiate contacts and have their own cash buyers app. That's completely fine. We can also do that as well. Not a problem at all. But we like to keep this just for simplicity purposes. So moving on now is the campaigns. So just like any other campaigns app, you can track all of your campaigns here, and these campaigns will be linked to your opportunities so that when you click into a campaign, you can see you can give it a name, status, whatever type of campaign it is, the campaign run date. So if it ran for a week or 2 weeks, you can do that. If there's any phone number or email associated to it, you can add that here as well. You can add your total cost for the campaign and then how many total prospects were in the campaign. And then with this information and based on how many leads you got, we will track all of this information here in the campaign statistics. So it's going to show you how many leads were generated, cost per lead. Obviously, I mentioned there's not really any data here. We just have some mock data because this is just the repository build. But this will track all of your leads generated, cost per leads. It'll tell you how many leads from this campaign are in the follow-up status, how many appointments scheduled, and how many leads are being actively followed up via autoresponders or drip campaigns. It'll also say how many offers were sent, signed, closed, potential revenue, and actual revenue. So potential revenue will be your items in your transactions app. This is properties you have in your inventory that have not yet closed. So that is your potential revenue. Actual revenue is your closed properties. Okay. So this is very important so you can understand what's working and what's not so that you don't have to waste money on, um, you know, doing campaigns that you know aren't producing that much results. Okay, so now we're gonna go down to the opportunities app, and this is gonna be your home base here. This is where most of the work gets done. This is where your system will follow up the lead for you. You can follow up yourself. You can send emails, text messages, set it on an autoresponder. So we can go ahead and right away you notice in the opportunities app, we have these views on the left-hand side. So we have a main view that will just show all of your leads and it'll separate it by status. Right now we have just one. It'll also show you all of your leads by acquisition. So you have multiple team members working in here. They'll have their name here. And if they click their name, they'll only show leads that are assigned to them. And also the same for qualifier. You'll also have a view here that'll show you how many replies are received. So this is pretty much stuff that you need to focus on. Um, when a reply gets received, it'll be here. So you know that you need to respond to the seller. Same email functionality is also in the Opportunities app, and I'll go over that in a little bit. Keep in mind, these views are completely customizable. You can add as many views as you like by just creating filters, and you can also change the layout of this. So we have it at a table. You can change it as a card, and then you can update statuses by just swiping out the card. But I personally like to keep this as here so that we can choose what kind of data, right? So we don't want to see that for right now. We don't want to see that. We just want to see who was assigned to and the follow-up status. We'll keep this for right now. But now going into the actual lead, this is where you're going to be doing most of the work. So in here, you'll have the lead name, you'll have a property address, you will have all of the information for the lead, and also a status here. Now, this status field is going to be updated automatically based on where you are in the funnel progress for this lead. So let's say right now we're at a new lead, and after working this lead, you decide to schedule a follow-up here in the follow-up section. Once you schedule a follow-up, the follow-up status will of course be set to scheduled, but also the primary status will be set to follow-up so that you can see where you are in with these leads without actually have to going in manually updating that. Below here we have some actions. When you're ready to send an offer to this lead, you can create an offer. That'll create an item in your offers app, which can be used to send out contracts via digital signature, whether it's Right Signature or DocuSign. You can use whatever provider you have that can be integrated into the system, and you can send them out for digital signature. And when they're signed, they'll come back as a PDF. You'll be notified, and then also a transaction item gets created. Below that, we have AI actions. This is in beta. I'm integrating ChatGPT into this, so you can just say open AI and pretty much just talk with AI, and you can ask it whatever question you want to ask it. It has access to this lead's data, right? So it'll know what lead it's talking to or you're talking about. It'll have access to the conversation history. So you can say, hey, just summarize what's going on with the lead. It'll tell you, oh, yeah, this lead is about this property address. You've talked about this during these dates. So this is a customized AI bot specific for each lead. So each lead has their own personal AI bot, right? And this is really cool because this OpenAI feature is not included in the current build. As I mentioned, it's in beta. If you'd like that, we can arrange sort of a custom build uh, specific for your company because this gets very intricate, and we need to build out a completely new section in your administration app where you can give your AI a name, you can set what kind of demeanor it has, you can let it know how to treat your customers and what kind of verbatim, what kind of vernacular, how to speak. A lot of customizable settings that you can set specific to your business. As I mentioned, this is in beta. This is not included in the current build. So below that, we have contact status. You can select contact attempted and contact made, and these will track actually in your KPIs app. I'll talk more about that a little later on. So in the marketing method, we can see where this lead is coming from, right? So there's a marketing method and there's a campaign. So if you have a campaign that sends out text messages, the marketing method will be SMS, and then let's say we add this lead here, right? So this is an active campaign. Now if I click this, now you can see I have one lead generated, and since it cost me 2,000, I only got one. The cost per lead is 2,000. Now going back into here, we have our qualifier, our qualification notes, and acquisition notes. Our qualifier is the cold caller. So if we're calling from smartphone or CallRail or ZenCall, any type of dialer to qualify leads, if you're doing cold calling, we can set up an integration to where after the phone call, if it's a converted lead, it'll automatically get created in here and it'll tag your qualifier, whoever qualified the lead, and add any notes that they may have written into these qualification notes so that when your acquisitions gets in here, they know what's going on with the lead, right? Acquisitions, as I mentioned, will be assigned automatically if you'd like via round robin, or you can just go in and assign it yourself. And then these are the notes for the acquisitions. So you can navigate through your opportunities apps via this navigation bar. Click to navigate, and you can see how many sections we have here. So we have follow up, we have SMS, we have email, we have autoresponders. You can schedule appointments. You have the property information and lead tracking. Right. So property information. This Google Street View will be updated based on we'll just need, this is a free API key. Right now, this, as I mentioned, this is a repository, so it's not configured for a specific company, but this is just a free API key we can get from your Google Maps, your Google Cloud Server, and this will be working for you. This is just going to take a Google Street picture of the property and update that for you in real time here for you. So let's focus on this follow-up section. As you can see, we already have some follow-ups that have been created for this lead. And we can see them all here in a very neatly arranged follow-up history section. If you want to schedule a new follow-up, we can go ahead and do that by using here. So let's just say we haven't already scheduled a follow-up. Okay, let's just set this to no value. And I want to speak to this person on Tuesday at, let's say 10:30 a.m. is okay, right? And told me to call on Tuesday. So we added the follow-up date and we added some follow-up notes. In here we can just select schedule follow-up, and by clicking this button, the system will automatically go ahead and create a follow-up for you, and it'll also create a task for you. So you can see here we have the new follow-up, and I also have a task related to this lead. The tasks are shown down below here, which is this new one here. Or you can see your tasks in the tasks in Podio here. Okay. Notice how everything is updated. The follow-up schedule has been set to scheduled, and by scrolling up, you can see that now the status is follow-up automatically. This is a great way to keep track of what's going on with the lead and never forgetting what you've said during a specific phone call. So you can keep these follow-up notes and you'll always have them in the history. Below here is your SMS section. You can see some of these messages have been sent and are tracked here in your SMS history. Same sort of deal. You select which caller ID you'd like. Um, Depending on what you're using for texting, if it's Twilio or smartphone, you can have different phone numbers to select, and then you can select the SMS template from your SMS templates app to send. And you can see we already have some here that's being used in the autoresponders app, or you can write your own message, right? And in these messages, you can use these custom variables to make your content dynamic per lead. You would just press send SMS, and then this is going to go ahead and send a message, update the SMS history, and then this field will also be set to SMS sent, right? What happens when when a reply gets received is obviously the SMS history will be updated. You'll receive a comment on the item. You'll also receive a task on the item to let you know that a response was received and you need to reply to the seller. Another thing that will happen is the SMS field will be set as reply received. And because this is reply received, you can then see that in your reply received view here. So going back into this lead, that is pretty much how to send and receive text messages. Pretty easy. Email section is almost the same, just like your SMS section, but here you can just select an email that you'd like to send, press send. If it sends, it'll be sent. It'll be set to SMS sent here, and then the history will be here. We have no history currently, so that's why we don't have anything in this field. You can also add to an email list. As I mentioned, if you click this button, it will be added to the view here, which you can then use to market, right? You can do send mass emails to everybody on that list. Down here is the autoresponder. So this is like the most important feature that I believe will help you close more deals and not let any deals get fall through the cracks, right? So you can set autoresponders, and you can also set these autoresponders to be triggered automatically based on status changes if you'd like. So if you set a lead on follow up, then we can automatically trigger an autoresponder to start following up. So you'll create an autoresponder template, and then you'll say, I want this template to trigger once I set my status to follow up. We can do that 100%. But let me go over a little bit what this is. So you can select a template. So let me go ahead and just select one template here, right? So I'm going to select this newer autoresponder. And if I want to trigger this autoresponder, all I have to do is just press start autoresponder, and the system is going to do its thing. It's going to populate all these fields based on what you have in your autoresponders app. So I'm going to open this up in a new tab and show you what that looks like. Now in the autoresponders app, if I can click out of this, you can see that the autoresponders app is right here. So clicking into this, you have the option to see all of your autoresponders, and clicking into one, you can see what one autoresponder looks like. So in our case, we have our autoresponder content being generated with AI. As mentioned before, this is a beta build, so this AI integration will not be included into the build, but you can just as easily create your content yourselves. If you'd like this AI integration to create the autoresponders for you, we can talk about custom integrations if you would like. So in our case, we just added some keywords that we want to use in the autoresponder, just a test, right? So we put knack, fast deal, good offer, and you can see right here that the autoresponder created all of these. Hey, I have a knack for making fast deals and good offers. So it's pretty cool how you can just give keywords and it'll use it into the messages. But let me talk more about how this actually works. So you have up to 10 actions here, and each action can consist of more than one thing. So each action can be a text message, or it can be a text message and an email, right? So you can send two things in one action, or not even two. You can send up to 250, but I don't recommend that because that's overload. right? So we can just take that out of the way. Okay. And here we can just set when would we like to send this action. So when we trigger this, I want the first action to get sent out right away. So this is going to get sent in 0 days. So it's the same day. We're sending out action 1. Then this is going to be sent out after 3 days, action 2. After 7 days, action 3. After 4 days, pretty self-explanatory. Add the number of days and then set the action. You can use text messages, emails. You can also use ringless voicemail if you have like Slight Broadcast or something like that. You can also get creative. You can also do hard mail. If you'd like to have some sort of hard mail integration, we can also do that. Or any type of integration that you have, we can incorporate into this autoresponder feature. Okay, so back into the Opportunities app. Now we can continue down the application and go to the Appointments app. So in here, you can set the person going on the appointment. If it's not the appointment scheduler, appointment specialist in your team members app, you can set who it is um, manually. You can add a date, time, and then schedule appointment. Now, what this does is this actually creates an item in your appointments app, and then this appointments app you can sync with your Google Calendar so that any appointments that you create will be automatically added to your Google Calendar, and all participants will be sent an email to accept the invitation or decline. And then that acceptance or decline will also reflect in the app as well. So it'll be integrated both ways. Below is the property section, property information section. As I mentioned, you will be seeing a Google Street picture here of the property in question, but since this is just a repo, we don't have an actual business account in here yet. You can also click this to go to the Zillow. It's going to take you to a Zillow link of the actual property. Um, Given that Zillow recently closed their API, not recently, but even a while ago, this information is going to have to be uploaded or input manually unless you have access to the API, which then if you do, we can obviously integrate that for you so that all of this information will be populated automatically just by updating the property address. So as long as you have access to an API with property information, we can definitely integrate that and then have um, the property information get uploaded automatically. And not just property information, if there's any integration that you have in mind, it's like 98% chance that we can integrate it into the system and we can build it out the way you'd like. So below the property information section is the lead tracking, right? So here we have data on this lead specifically. So contact log, this is going to show you how many contact attempts were made and how many contacts were actually made, right? So this is going to track based on if you click the contact attempt button here. You also have your funnel progress, right? So this is going to tell you how many follow-ups were made, how many SMSs were sent, received, emails, appointments, and then your main indicators here, how many, if the offer was sent, signed, if the assignment was signed, and if the deal was closed, right? So these obviously will turn into check marks if any of those meet the requirements. And now you have your event log, which is more in depth. Everything that happens in the system will be linked here, and you can click into each one of these and it will take you into your KPIs app. And then this will actually just track everything that happens in your system, and then your KPIs app can generate very, very useful reports because all the actions that are occurring in your system will be in one spot, and then you can easily integrate that with Plecto or any type of uh, sort of visual data dashboard software where you can create reports and stuff like that, just to have your data all organized and neat. And now below that we have AI chat history. Um, I mentioned this is a beta feature. This will track all the conversation that you have with your AI. So you can also choose to clear the history if you want a new conversation. Um, so that is also something that's very cool. So moving on is I talked about the appointments app. Now is the offers app. So in your opportunities in the action field, there was a place where you can create an offer. And what that does is it creates an item in here. And we have now we have your offer app where you can generate your contracts, right? You can fill in all the information that you would normally put inside of your contract, and then you can create the offer and send the offer via digital signature. You can also schedule follow-ups. It's the same deal. We add a date and notes. We can schedule it. But this will integrate with any e-signature company, and we can make it so once the contract is signed, it will come in here as a signed PDF. It'll notify you. It will automatically press mark offer signed. And so once you have an offer signed, then two things will happen. You'll have a transaction item get created because now you have a property on the contract and you're ready to create an assignment, right? But before you create an assignment, you need to find a buyer. And so that's why you also have an inventory item get created. In your inventory app, it's just what it says. So it's all of the properties that you have in your inventory, right? So again, if a contract is signed, that property is now in your inventory and you're looking to sell it. So in here, when a new inventory item gets created, this will be set to new. You can add some information here. This will also be pre-populated from your opportunities app if you do have data there. And you can add photos. And then this is the target buyer field that I mentioned here. So here's where you market this property. So once this inventory item gets created, the system automatically looks through all of your active cash buyers, checks to see, in our case, if any buyer is interested in properties in this zip code. If they are, those buyers will automatically be populated into this field. And so you know right away, okay, these are the people that can potentially be interested, so these are the people I should be reaching out to first, right? So once you have your target buyers, this could be up to 250 buyers. You can then select an email template, which you can create an email template for new property in the contract. This is very generic, very basic, but you understand how if you want, you can style this and you can make very good use of this. And then you can send to target buyers. You also have the option to send to a specific email, which you can add here, right? You can add one email or more if you'd like. And then this button will send this email to this field. Okay. So this is your inventory app. So in here, as I mentioned, you find your buyers, and once a buyer is found, then you can go to your transaction app, and then you can go ahead and let me add this opportunity here. So this is just an old test lead, but in your transactions app, here you can select who your buyer is, right? So this is your contacts app, but this is only the cash buyers in your contacts app. So it's not going to show all of your title agents here. You can select who the buyer is, and then you can add all the information that you would normally put on your assignment contract, and then you can send your assignment contract. Just like the offers app, you'll be able to send this out for digital signature. Once it's signed, it'll come in as a signed document and then automatically press mark sold so that now everything is going to be sold. Right now this is follow up, but if I refresh the page, since we marked it as sold, this will also be marked as sold as well in your opportunities app. Okay, so now you have a full deal down the pipeline and you sold the property. Um, this is all the applications that you need pretty much to make sure that no deals are being left behind, that you're following up in the most efficient way. We also have templated autoresponders that are proven to get the best replies. So let's talk more about the email templates and SMS templates. So email templates and SMS templates, pretty much the same app, except for obviously email templates, we have some more data here. This is the send from name. So when you send an email, this is going to be the name that the email is coming from. And then receive replies, this is going to be when the seller replies to a message, the replies will come to this email address here. So you can set that. You can add the content of the email. And then here is where we use um, the email list. So you can add recipients if you'd like. So you can add If you want to just send this template to one person, you can send it to one person. You can just instead of having any of these selected, you can set this to no value, and then you can just send email to this one recipient. But if one of these is selected, let's say the opportunities list, then when you press send emails, it won't send it to this one, but it'll send it to all of the leads that are in the list that you have selected, right? You can also send these daily or weekly or monthly, or obviously just once. And the SMS templates app gives you the same um, feature, but for texting, right? So we have a template name, you add some text, and then same sort of deal here. Okay, and your administration app is where you have your business information. You'll also have integration settings here, so like DocuSign, Twilio, all this other stuff that you have here. You'll have your open API settings here as well, and then your KPIs app, right? So here, as I mentioned, is very important because every action, uh, and when I say every action, I mean we have follow-ups, contact attempts, contact made, SMSs sent, received, emails sent, appointment scheduled, offer sent, offer signed, assignment sent, all that stuff. We um we track all of these things here. And then with this information, you can click on your reports and then you can see very important reports here and you can create your own reports. You can create charts and graphs and show whatever you'd like. So you can count, you can just say, I want to calculate all the assignment fees, and then I want to show all the assignment fees per, let's see here. Let's say per team member, right? So then this will show that this acquisition person had made this much assignment fee, but obviously there's no data in here right now. So this is the workspace. Um, this is pretty much the full package. Included with this package is the integrations that make it what it is. So obviously a texting integration and a e-signature integration will come with this system. Depending on whatever you want to use, that's okay, that's fine. But there's no extra charge for integrating those softwares into the system because I think that without that, it's pretty much just a regular system. Um, one app I didn't mention is DocuSign notifications. This is solely if you're using DocuSign, we get the notifications here. But yeah, that's the whole workspace. If you have any questions, feel free to email me um, at my email. It's jetlump, JETLUMP at gmail.com. If you like this system, if you'd like to purchase this system, you can visit our website, bombcrm.com, or again, you can email me for custom builds or custom integrations, anything you see fit. So thank you. Appreciate the time.